Good morning, it's Thursday morning, and this is our future focus for the week. Different bridge, same message, same Bible. God has no grandchildren. That's this morning's reminder. God has no grandchildren. I do. I have 4. Carter, Sophia, Kinsley, and Evie. And it's fun as they grow up to see how they resemble their mom or dad or both in different ways. Sometimes physically, Sophia's big brown eyes just like her mom's. Kinsley's blonde hair just like her mom. And in ways that aren't physical too, just their traits. Carter's sense of humor just like his dad's, and Kinsley's extrovert way of meeting people and engaging with people. Definitely not shy, just like her dad. And Evie, well, she's a little bit too young to say right now, but for sure, my grandchildren. Oh, and I forgot their striking good looks, which I think they take after their grandparents. I'm just kidding. But it is fun to see how they resemble their parents in different ways. With one exception, there is one thing that they will never inherit from mom and dad, and that is their faith in the Lord Jesus, because God has no grandchildren. At some point, every one of those children, every child, has to come to a knowledge of the Lord Jesus on their own and to become children of God. God has no grandchildren. And yet parents have an enormous influence in leading their children to a knowledge of Christ and of God. Deuteronomy chapter 6, verses 4-6 remind us of the parents' influence. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, and strength. These words that I give you today shall be upon your hearts, and you shall talk about them with your children, when you wake up, when you walk by the way, and when you lie down. So parents can have an enormous influence, and should, on their children. But in the end, they have to come to God, as we all do, and to become children of God through the Lord Jesus Christ. So God has no grandchildren. It is, however, the privilege of the church to stand with parents, to support them and to pray for them, and to help them in the task of leading their children to the Lord. It is a privilege every church shares. It's also said that every church is always one generation away from extinction, which means that unless we have that younger generation, those children who come to the Lord, there will be no church. And so we are praying as one of our 3 priorities this year that God would send young families to First Christian Church so that we can love them and support their parents in the important spiritual work of leading them to Christ. That's one of our prayers, and I hope that you'll join us in that prayer as we seek to ensure the next generation of First Christian Church. So it's a lot of fun, and we're excited to see what God will do. Have a wonderful Thursday.